And we're here with Julie Adamik, who is a member of our Plan Sponsor Advisory Council and is also the Director of Benefits Planning and Design at Petco. So when you walk into your local Petco and see all those employees smiling, it's because of the great benefits Julie has designed for them. So Julie, what do you believe is the best strategy for communicating with employees, both in the retirement world and the healthcare world?
Mark, actually, there are 4 things that I think are the most critical. The first of all, it should be easy to understand, simple, conversational. Whatever you prepare for benefits should be like you're standing there talking to a friend and explaining it to them. The other thing is to avoid the jargon. We, in the benefits area, have a lot of jargon that completely baffles our employees. So as soon as you start saying things like portfolio diversification and asset allocation and rebalancing, you lose your audience. They don't understand what that means. So you're better off thinking in terms, how would I explain these concepts to my 7th grader? And there's lots of different ways you can explain it in normal, everyday language that people get, that they would understand. We also tend to overdo acronyms in our field. So when you tell an employee that they're in the CDHP PPO with the HRA, you just get a blank look. They really don't understand that. Give your plans simple names that your employees can relate to and remember. The other thing I would say is that your communication, you need to take into consideration the audience. Nowadays, we have a multi-generational workforce. We still have a lot of baby boomers in our workforce, and then we have millennials and Gen X, Gen Y. I mean, it really, you've got 18-year-olds and you have 60-year-olds. They learn and they accept communication differently. So we can't just rely on written communications anymore. That's what we used to do. But nowadays, it's all about social media and sound bites. So use those tools available to you to communicate to your workforce. It doesn't mean you don't do the written materials. It just means that you need to broaden it and you need multiple touch points. You know, mailings to the homes, supervisor updates, videos, Facebook, Twitter, these are all things that more and more companies are taking advantage of because it meets the needs of the up-and-coming workforce. The number one request we get from our employees out in the stores is they want smartphone applications. They don't have computers. They went from nothing to a smartphone, and we have to adapt to that and be able to provide all of our benefit communications that can be done on a mobile device, whether it's a phone or an iPad. And that's totally different than what it was just a couple of years ago. The last thing I would say about making your benefit communication effective, whether you're talking retirement plans or health and welfare plans, don't be afraid to make it fun. Make it engaging, make it entertaining, and you will get the audience to pick it up, look at it, talk about it, and actually understand it. And I think that we, as benefit professionals, have lost sight of that we can still get an important, critical message across to our employees, but do it in a fun and entertaining way.
It's great advice. We've heard the terms building a culture of savers and building a culture of wellness within an organization. How important do you think that is in being able to get the message to employees? How important it is to save for retirement? How important it is for them to take care of themselves and understand the benefits programs that are provided? And a follow-on to that is, how important do you think it is to brand those messages in line with the brand of the business?
Branding is very critical. As most major corporations, Petco has a brand, and we have a brand for our benefits that ties right into our corporate brand. So it's easy for employees to recognize that it's a Petco material or video or so forth, but it's also distinctive enough for them to realize that it's benefits. In terms of building that culture, what's interesting is that culture is changing with or without the benefits professional, pushing it or moving it, and it has to do with experience. And what I mean by that is there are baby boomers in the workforce, and a lot of them are in the workforce because they didn't save for retirement. And so the younger generation is seeing this and they're hearing about it. They're seeing their parents struggle in retirement. So I think that in itself will encourage the younger generation to be more aware and save for retirement. We're starting to see it in our organization where the younger employees are asking questions about saving for retirement and thinking about it. That was not the case 10 years ago at all. And I think the same thing with health. The younger generation are seeing the baby boomers who didn't necessarily take good care of themselves, who are now struggling in terms of their health and well-being, and their children are seeing that and their grandchildren are seeing that. And so I think the message is being sent just by seeing the experience of our parents. And again, because Petco tends to have a young workforce, yet we still have older employees at our corporate offices, and we see this every day, that a physical fitness program or a nutritional program is a huge hit, but it's mostly with the younger folks who are seeing that, you know what, I'm going to live longer, I better take better care of myself, I better save for retirement so I can enjoy it.
Thanks, Julie. Petco also has a benefit that allows their employees to bring their animals to work, a policy I'm not sure all of us can implement. But I really appreciate your insight and your involvement with our programs for 16 years, I believe it is now, since we were both 17 years old. And thank you very much.
You're welcome, Mark.